Welcome to Retirement Decoded with your host, Scott Tucker, where we break down the complexities of retirement planning to give you clear, actionable advice. Whether you're just starting out or getting ready to retire, Scott's here to help you make informed decisions and secure your financial future. Tune in each week as we simplify the process and decode the path to a stress-free retirement. Now, here's your host, Scott Tucker.
And we're back on the podcast, Retirement Decoded podcast with Scott Tucker. I'm your host, Scott Tucker. Associate Advisor Max Wren here at the Ready. Say hello, Max Wren.
Hello, Max Wren.
Max, today's question comes from Beth. Beth says, Max, I've been following the discussions on the podcast about umbrella insurance because our elder care attorney suggested we look into it. Max, what do you think about umbrella insurance?
I think it's a great idea.
And why do you like the idea of having an umbrella policy, Max?
Covers your butt. It's not too expensive either. So,
a lot of coverage for a little bit of money, and so how you might think of it is it's lawsuit insurance, so to speak. And Beth, you think who would sue me? Hey, we live in a litigious society, and everybody's trying to sue everybody all the time. What a lot of folks do is they don't have enough coverage on their home or auto, or they get sued away from home and auto, and it can be a good idea to have personal liability insurance to protect against lawsuits. So Beth says, Max, I've been following discussions on the podcast about umbrella insurance because our elder law attorney suggested we look into it. We are currently covered by State Farm for auto and home, but when I called State Farm, they said we don't offer umbrella insurance anymore. But suggested, this has got full of typos. We don't do, sorry, Beth, offer umbrella insurance anymore, but suggested I just up the coverage on our existing policies. Max, this is the first I'm hearing that State Farm isn't doing umbrella insurance anymore.
Yeah, it is. I don't think they would drop that market.
No, Beth, what I think you may have been told is that you could buy an umbrella insurance policy only if you increase the coverages on your home and auto. That one we hear all the time.
That would add up.
Because folks try to save 15 minutes and what is it, 15% in 15 minutes calling Geico or something. So people try to get the cheapest insurance premium, most affordable insurance premium, and they don't realize they're stripping coverage out in many cases.
Right.
And then you try to get an umbrella, maybe from State Farm or from some other carrier, and they go, wait a minute. An umbrella policy is also a backstop to your home and auto. What we don't want to do is you have the minimum coverage in your state for home and auto, and so this umbrella is going to get hit with claims. The part of how they keep the umbrella policy coverage affordable is make sure you have sufficient home and auto protection. So Beth is saying that State Farm said they don't offer umbrella insurance anymore, but suggested she up her coverage on her existing home and auto policies. Max, has anyone done that? ? We have folks all the time that have to increase their coverage on their home and auto
all the time.
And they're thankful to have pointed out that, hey, wait a minute, you don't have enough coverage for home and auto, really. And they're also thankful to be pointed out. We point out just about every meeting, hey, umbrella policy, do you have one? Oh, yes, no, how much, all this kind of thing. We've had folks that are worth, say, $5 million, and they don't have an umbrella policy.
Yeah, they're worth all that money, but they're getting cheap when it comes to that.
Yeah, or they have a $1 million house paid off. They don't have their home titled in trust, or they don't have an umbrella policy. Not legal advice or any of that, but just something to think about. Max, is it worth considering? I think I know what you're saying there, Max. I know I can get the coverage from another company. Beth, how about you increase the coverage on your home and auto? Another company, if you know you can get coverage from another company for the umbrella, they're going to have the same gripe, though, that you have to have sufficient coverage on your home and auto.
I think going back to the original question, though, I think shop around when it comes to this stuff for insurance, because being loyal doesn't do you a single favor.
You're not a Patrick Mahomes fan?
The funny thing is, I was with State Farm for about a little over 20 years, and I switched this past year.
Wow.
Yep.
So that Max makes a really good point that I had kind of spaced out on there and missed it. Beth, you shouldn't just call State Farm or just call Allstate or just call Nationwide or whatever. You ought to use an independent property and casualty broker. So home auto and umbrella are all what they call property and casualty insurance. So you'll oftentimes see in some markets, you'll see so-and-so an independent agent. So you want that independent agent, and really an independent agent is considered a broker. They shop around for you. So just like the State Farm agent is paid a commission by State Farm when they sell home or auto or umbrella, an independent insurance broker is also paid that same commission from whatever company they might use, but they don't just have to use State Farm. Your State Farm person, you want to have fun, Max? We should get on the phone line hooked up here to the podcast. We should call a State Farm agent here locally and ask them for an Allstate policy. If you want to see how independent your State Farm or Allstate person is not, ask them for a coverage from a different carrier. That will not work, will it, Max?
Oh, they would.
Let's call up Nationwide and ask them for a policy from Country Financial.
Oh, their brains would explode.
What do you mean? Like, have you been the State Farm guy? Would be like,
while we're talking about that, it's the same thing with banks and stuff. If you're buying a CD, Chase is going to sell you their Chase CD.
No way.
Wells Fargo, you're getting the Wells Fargo CD. So,
well, I oftentimes explain to folks. They say, "Wait a minute, why an independent person in Chicagoland here?" Where I grew up in Michigan, it's very common that you deal with an independent insurance broker.
Going to credit unions or
they have there are
insurance guy.
There are all these insurance brokers that they advertise. Hey, I'm an independent insurance agent, and you don't even not even credit union. I mean, like, you're going to an independent insurance agent, and he or she can show you like 40 different carriers. Here in Chicagoland, I noticed there's a lot of State Farms out of was it Bloomington, Illinois? Something like that.
Sounds right.
If you know where State Farm is located, go to tuckerretirement.com, get on our phone calendar. We'll talk about it. So State Farm and then Allstate out of Northbrook.
I see tons of Allstates.
Yeah. So State Farm and Allstate are very popular in Illinois because they're both based in Illinois. So we see a lot of that. And it's a foreign idea to a lot of people that you don't just call up that person for that company for everything. There's also... is it American Family? I think is out of Wisconsin. American Family is very popular here. Who else we see a lot of? Nationwide. Max, is Nationwide on your side? Because they have Peyton
I like
Manning
their commercials.
Well, what's funny is people think like, oh, Nationwide, they're on my side because they have Peyton Manning on the commercial.
Yeah,
it has nothing to do with anything. And Peyton Manning, he's an expense. He's overhead.
I was going to say, all that extra money you're paying for your coverage is going to pay in for that commercial.
So I'm not mad at Nationwide, but that Peyton Manning contract cost them a few $1 million, and they got to get that back from the policyholders. Same with, what's the guy from Kansas City?
Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes. When he's on the State Farm commercial, that's millions of dollars that State Farm has to get back out of the policyholders. And Flo, I can't stand her. Flo, she's not cheap.
Same with Jake.
Maybe she's cheap, but Jake. Well, then there's no longer. They changed the Jake. That's a whole nother story.
Well, there's the new Jake now.
New Jake, yeah. He's got to get paid too. The old Jake was wearing khakis. The new guy's got to wear something. So anyway, so she says, I know I can get the coverage from another company, not with minimum coverage on your home and auto. They're not going to do that, or else the premium's going to be high. She says either that or moving all our policies to a new company. Yeah, that's what you can do, and that's where the independent insurance broker comes in. One way to think about the State Farm person, Max, if you go, there's a fire, and Natalie and I live in Mount Prospect, Illinois, northwest Chicago suburb. Near our house, there's a Firestone tire store. If you go to Firestone, Max, what kind of tires do you end up with?
It could be Firestone.
If you go to Goodyear, what kind of tires do you get?
Goodyear.
Goodyear. So you see where we're going here. Might want to have an independent tire shop.
Yeah. Not doing you any favors staying there.
Yeah. Don't have the misplaced loyalty. Either that or move our policies to another company. But we've had a good relationship with our State Farm agent for a number of years. That's great. You know, Max, if you're still friends with your State Farm agent, you can still have them over to dinner.
Yep. And, how long has that relationship really been? Because when you're talking to them, are you talking to them for 4 hours at a time? Or is it more 10, 15 minutes?
5 minutes every 12 months, whether they need it or not.
So is it more of a 15-minute relationship, or so?
We've had a good relationship with our State Farm agent for a number of years. You can still say hi to them at church, or you can he can still take you to lunch.
Yep.
You think if they cancel their policies, their State Farm guys can take them to lunch? Not that anybody, I don't know, people are busy to go to lunch nowadays, but I'm trying to keep this as simple as possible. As simple as possible would be, rather than shopping it at different companies yourself. She's playing like an unlicensed insurance broker.
Yeah, she's making a easy task hard.
Yeah, so rather, what you can do is you can just take your State Farm policies and you can email them or show them, whatever, paper or whatever, show them to an independent insurance broker, and then they'll price them all out with all the different carriers and make recommendations to you. We were surprised. We have an independent insurance broker. As I said, Mount Prospect, Illinois is where we live, and our insurance broker's out of Downers Grove, Illinois. And they shopped all our policies, and they go, what's the best? We're getting the best rate and the best coverage for you from. And I go, who's that? And I thought they would say, I don't know who they would say, Erie Insurance or something. That's like there's certain carriers that especially work with independent brokers. And they go, no, we're getting the best homeowners insurance rate and coverage for you from AAA.
Hey, there we go.
Isn't that weird?
Great company.
So our homeowners, I think they're all pretty good companies, but our homeowners insurance with AAA. American Automobile Association.
Not your car, your house.
Oh boy, dogs and cats living together.
Hey, if they have service as good as they do for their automotive stuff, then that's probably an amazing provider or carrier to have.
Yeah. So Beth says, Max, we are older drivers. Adding to the coverage does make sense. When you're older drivers, I don't know how much older she means. A lot of times you get to be an older driver. You don't drive as much. You may drive more safely.
Yep.
Of course, there can be a point where we could have cognition issues, but I think so far she's doing really well. As well as reviewing the amount of coverage we have for underinsured and uninsured drivers to protect us from that as well. Oh, not brat grandkids. Beth is talking about, you may have brat grandkids, Beth, but in this case, you're talking about other drivers that are underinsured or uninsured. Just about every, I can't say every, just about every insurance broker or agent is going to make sure you're covered for uninsured and underinsured drivers.
Yeah. If you're around Chicago, definitely need to.
In Chicago, so as we said, we're federally licensed. We can help folks all across the country. But we have in Chicago, this is a surprise, right? We have a lot of people that aren't supposed to be here, that right there. And actually the state of Illinois is a sanctuary state.
They were waiving the driving test too for like 3 or 4 years.
We don't need no stinking test.
Explains a lot.
Yeah.
You see.
Well, a lot of people know that Chicago is a sanctuary city. A lot of people are not aware. Maybe 10 years ago, the state of Illinois passed a law. The whole state of Illinois is a sanctuary state.
I actually didn't know that.
Yeah. And then the way that works is you can actually be an illegal alien, and you can go to the Secretary of State, driver services or whatever it is, and you can get a driver's license even if you're illegally here. It won't be a real ID, but you won't have that star in it.
Right.
That's why we had to get real IDs, because states like California and Illinois were giving out licenses in cereal boxes. So there's all that. So you get this driver's license as an illegal, and then you get pulled over in Illinois. They don't know what to do with you, so they release you with no ticket.
They're doing that anyways in Chicago. So.
But they pull you over in Illinois, and they're like, "Oh no, he's illegal."
Too much paperwork.
It's a sanctuary state, and then they're like, "If I write this illegal alien a speeding ticket." Like the cops don't even want to get involved. They're like, just slow down. And you're like, in your foreign language, and they're like, slow down.
Yeah. I almost got ran over a week or two ago by somebody who was
of questionable legality.
Yep.
Could be.
So
you could get run over by an American. It's all, whether an American or an American, they can run you over just the same.
People drive like maniacs.
Well, there's a whole lot of things in Illinois. They passed, it's broadly off topic, Beth, but we're done with your umbrella policy question. They passed a law in Illinois, and I was thinking about it today. It was like 10 years or 15 years ago. They passed a law that was backed by the ACLU in Illinois. They passed this law that every time a police officer pulls you over, they have to write an interview report on every occupant.
Sounds like a good use of their time.
Well, the problem is now they don't want to make traffic stops.
I don't blame them.
Because if they pull over, say that you're going to lunch and you pull over a car full of has 4 people in it,
yep.
You have to do this ACLU interview of all 4 people, including like race, occupation, home address. And you can imagine not everybody's cooperative with that interview process. And then you're like, okay, so I'm starving Marvin, or you're trying to get off work and then say your department's not paying for overtime. Chicago Police Department. So say your department may not be wanting to pay overtime. Well, actually, Chicago Police Department will pay overtime on your day off.
Some of the retired policemen I've sat down with, the pensions they're getting because of all the OT they worked. It is crazy.
Well, some of the work they do that, oh boy, it's all another can of worms.
They could be sleeping. They could not show up that week, and there you go.
You're alleging that some folks didn't show up or were sleeping? What?
Yeah, maybe even the police car.
Oh, geez, you're gonna enrage our police officer friends. I was saying if you're a patrolman, question mark, patrol officer, patrol person, patrol folk.
That's not, there we go.
Okay. So the other day I was on I-90 and there was a backup of traffic. Mm-hmm. And so this lady tries driving up the shoulder with her hazards flashing.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
And to my joy, an unmarked state trooper pulled up behind her and he lights her up with the red and blues. And I'm like, yes.
Did he pull her over?
Well, then, so I'm not sure I'm not sure if he's trying to get around her or if he's trying to write her a ticket, whatever. So I'm in the left lane in this 4-lane traffic jam. So I'm like, okay, I try to ease my truck over to the right a little bit. As much room as I can give him, and can I get in that other lane, get away from him?
Right.
We have the thing in state law, like many states do. You have to move over, slow down, all that kind of stuff. And so then the spot that I made, so he pulls up alongside her, he rolls down his window, she rolls down her window, and he yells at her, then he drives away.
Yeah, that's Chicago.
Well, that was even in the suburbs. But he's like, the problem is if he stops to right her, now he can't do anything else. And it turned out the backup up ahead of us was maybe a half mile up ahead of us on the other side of the road. There was fire trucks blocking off 2 lanes because there was a car accident. So he was actually trying to go do something more important. But I'm like, right her. Because we get a lot of traffic backups in Chicagoland.
It's basically another lane here. So
no, we get a lot of traffic backups in Chicagoland, and every once in a while somebody thinks that they. Hey, that lane's not being used.
You'll just start seeing a caravan car.
Because it's not a caravan.
Sometimes.
The opinions of Max Renner, not those of Scott for Solutions' sake.
I ride on the highway sometimes when I go home. Scott, you got like a 5-minute car ride home, don't you? 10
it can be a solid 20.
Okay. I thought you were a little closer.
Max's ideas of how easy my life is. So yeah, Beth, home, auto. Hey, we got it all in today's show, home and auto and everything. A lot of the, another topic, a lot of folks will just spend a minute on this. A lot of folks are complaining about the cost of, home and auto insurance. And I'm not talking to you, Beth, maybe not even talk to any listener, but you see how many people driving around or texting on their cell phones. It makes the auto claims go higher. Or sometimes people are still in catalytic converters, makes the auto claims go higher. And then some of the claims, it's been said, some of the claims from California for the fires and Florida for the hurricanes, it's suspected that sometimes those might bleed over into rates in other states.
Yeah.
So, but the way our society's so litigious, I think it makes a lot of sense, Beth, for you to have an umbrella policy. So don't be such a cheapskate, Beth. Up your coverages. Get your umbrella policy. Get yourself an independent insurance agent. Max, any closing thoughts?
You get insurance for a reason. Don't get cheap on it.
Don't get cheap on it. Yeah. Don't insure things you don't need to insure, but things you do like home and auto or litigation.
Yep. The
umbrella insurance, it's worth it. Well, it's been fun spending another 20 minutes or so with you on the podcast Retirement Decoded with Scott Tucker. I'm your host, Scott Tucker. That's been the voice of Associate Advisor Max Wren. Get on our phone calendar at tuckerretirement.com. Get your questions answered and your answers questioned.
Scott Tucker Solutions, Inc. has a strategic partnership with tax professionals and attorneys who can provide tax and or legal advice. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions. A Roth conversion is a taxable event and may have several tax-related consequences. Be sure to consult with a qualified tax advisor before making any decisions regarding your IRA. The views and opinions herein are those of Scott Tucker Solutions, Inc. and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of AE Wealth Management, LLC. Investment advisory services made available through AE Wealth Management, LLC. AEWM and Scott Tucker Solutions, Inc. are not affiliated companies. Insurance products are offered through the insurance business Scott Tucker Solutions, Inc. Scott Tucker Solutions, Inc. is an investment advisory practice that offers products and services through AE Wealth Management, LLC, a registered investment advisor. AEWM does not offer insurance products. The insurance products offered by Scott Tucker Solutions, Inc. are not subject to investment advisory requirements. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing carrier. This podcast is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual's situation. Scott Tucker Solutions, Inc. is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during this podcast shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by Scott Tucker Solutions, Inc.